The payment is affordable. Your bills are covered. But the moment you click buy, it feels as if you made a dangerous mistake. That feeling is not always proof that the purchase is wrong. Sometimes it is an old money rule reacting to a new financial reality. Imagine Maya, a freelance designer whose laptop has started crashing during client work. The battery fails, the screen flickers, and every restart risks a missed deadline. She has already set aside money for a replacement. Buying a reliable $1,200 laptop would not create debt, touch her emergency fund, or interfere with her monthly bills. Still, she delays. She pays for another repair. She works around the crashes. She loses hours recovering files and feels guilty each time she looks at the replacement model. The purchase is affordable on paper, but emotionally it still feels irresponsible. Why? Because money decisions are not made by a spreadsheet alone. They are also filtered through rules we learned when money felt uncertain. Perhaps you heard, money is only for emergencies. Never spend on yourself. The cheapest option is always the safest. Or, if you save a little more, then you can finally relax. These rules may once have protected a family during a difficult period. A child who watches adults worry about rent, count every dollar, or regret a purchase can learn that spending causes danger. The lesson can remain long after the original circumstances change. This is learned money guilt, the discomfort that appears when spending violates an inherited rule, even when the decision fits your present plan. That distinction matters. Useful financial caution responds to a real trade-off. It says, this purchase would create high-interest debt, reduce money needed for rent, or interrupt an important goal. Inherited guilt behaves differently. It can appear after the trade-offs have already been handled. The money is available. The obligations are covered. The purchase solves a real problem. Yet the bank balance moving downward still feels like failure. For Maya, the trigger is not only the price of the laptop. It is the visible loss in her account. Her adult budget says, this replacement is planned. Her older rule says, good people keep money and irresponsible people spend it. The result is a strange form of false economy. Suppose the old laptop needs a $180 repair. Then Maya loses 6 hours of paid work to crashes and recovery. A month later, she needs the replacement anyway, but now she must buy it urgently with less time to compare options. The exact numbers are only an illustration. The mechanism is the important part. Avoiding the feeling of spending can create a larger financial cost than the purchase itself. This happens beyond technology. Someone keeps uncomfortable shoes that cause pain because replacing them feels wasteful. A homeowner postpones a small repair until water damage makes it expensive. A worker refuses a useful course that fits the education budget, then loses months trying to solve the same problem alone. Cheap and safe are not always the same thing. Saving money and refusing to use money are not always the same thing either. Another inherited rule is that spending on yourself must be earned through suffering. Necessary purchases feel acceptable, but comfort, convenience, or enjoyment require a courtroom defense. The person can easily spend on family members, yet feel selfish buying the same thing for themselves. Then there is the moving safety line. You tell yourself that spending will feel comfortable after the next $1,000, the next raise, or the next savings milestone. You reach it, but the feeling does not change. The number moved. The rule did not. So how can you tell the difference between wise caution and inherited guilt? Use a 3-question permission test. First, can I pay for this without debt, missed obligations, or taking money from a protected goal? This question checks the actual financial boundary. If the answer is no, the discomfort may be useful information. If the answer is yes, continue. Second, what real problem or value does this purchase serve? The answer does not have to be productivity. Rest, convenience, beauty, and shared experiences can also be legitimate values. But name the value clearly. A purchase with no meaningful purpose deserves more scrutiny than one that directly supports your work, health, time, or relationships? Third, what is the cost of delaying? Include repairs, wasted time, missed opportunities, stress, and the risk of an urgent decision later. The cost of waiting may be zero, which makes waiting sensible. But sometimes delay is not free. Maya was comparing $1,200 with zero when the real alternative included repairs, lost work, and continued risk. After those three questions, make the decision once. If the purchase passes your rules, give it a category before paying: replacement, education, health, convenience, or enjoyment. A named category turns vague guilt into a planned choice. Then record the result without putting yourself on trial. Was the purchase used? Did it solve the problem? Would you make the same decision again? This creates evidence from your current life instead of letting an old rule provide the only evidence. Maya eventually replaces the laptop. The uncomfortable feeling does not disappear at checkout, but she recognizes it for what it is: a reaction, not a verdict. The new computer stops the crashes, protects her deadlines, and gives her back the hours she had been losing. The goal is not to become careless with money. It is to make caution accurate. Money is supposed to protect your future, but it can also support your present. A healthy plan does both. If every affordable purchase still feels dangerous, the next question may not be, can I spend less? It may be, whose rule am I still obeying? What money rule did you learn growing up that still influences you today? Share it in the comments. And subscribe to Psychology Invest for more practical breakdowns of the psychology behind everyday financial decisions.